Okay, for number 2, they really are not asking me to graph it. You could if you want, but what I'm going to do is just, put down what the arithmetic is going to be for the problem. The first thing I find easy to do for me anyway is the midpoint. It's the easiest thing for me to do. And how do I do that? Just add the coordinates together. So 5 and 3. Well, I'll write it down. 5 plus 3, and it's an average, and there's only 2 things there, so we divide by 2. And then minus 4 minus 1. So what do you get there? Well, 5 plus 3 is 8, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Minus 4 minus 1 is minus 5, so minus 5 over 2. This is the midpoint. Put a box on it. I'm also going to do distance. I'm going to call this thing x1 and that y1. I'm going to call this x2 and this y2. And we know the formula. Distance equals, let's see, x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is 5, plus minus 1, which is y2. Whoops, sorry about that. Minus y1. Well, that's going to be minus 4, which is plus 4. All right, mistakes happen. I want to point out that part of doing homework is just to try to iron out any mistakes that might be making on exams. 3 minus 5 is minus 2. And minus 1 plus 4 is 3. I'll keep going, and you get 4, and then you get 9. And that gives me root 13. And that's the distance. They also asked me to approximate it. I strongly recommend you get a calculator, a 4-function calculator, and take the square root of 13. Now, when the square root of 13, if you're going to approximate it, how many digits do you want? I want to point out that could be very difficult if they ask for a large number of digits, but they say to the nearest 100th, all right? What does that mean? 2 decimal places. So if you take your calculator, you should be able to get this thing rounded correctly to 3.61, right? You need a calculator. Most students need a calculator to do that, by the way. So let's take a look at the answer key. Was I able to get the distance, root 13, and approximately 3.61? Yes. Was I able to get the midpoint? Yes. Now, if you want to, you could also a graph paper. I just don't see it as being, enough to answer really the question to this level of accuracy, by the way. But the bottom line is it can't hurt to practice graphing points. Let me go through that with you. 5 minus 4. And I got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, that's the point. 5 minus 4. What's the other point? The other point was 3 minus 1. So count over 3 and down 1. All right? And again, looking at it, could you draw a right triangle in there? Of course you could. Let me go through that with you. Something like this over here. And, I'm counting blocks here. This is 2 and this is 3. Can I do distance over there? I could. It's going to be the square root. Pythagorean theorem, by the way. 9 plus 4. And what's the distance going to be? It's going to be the square root of 13. Just like we did with the formula, by the way. Whatever works for you, though. Like, don't think that, formulas are the way you have to do it. You might say to yourself, I just like doing pictures, and pictures are good. I like the Pythagorean theorem. The other thing about the midpoint, again, looking at it, you get a rough idea where it is. I'm not going to say you're going to get it exactly, but looking at it, I'm going to, let me go to blue this time. I'm going to say I said blue, but I'm still in red. Say maybe over there, midpoint on that line segment over there. And then, it's tough, but I think, maybe you're going to say something like this over here. And what are the values over there? Well, looking at it, and again, I'm not saying you're getting it right. Looking at that thing, I'm going to say the midpoint appears to be, let's see, 4. Let me see if I did that. Yeah, it looks 4. It looks like it looks like about 2.5. And that, of course, is down, so I'll put a negative sign over there. Now, if I write that down in an algebraic way, I wouldn't use mixed numbers. That would be minus 5 halves. All right, let's look at this. And, certainly I'm getting to root 13. I got that. You need a calculator. Most people need a calculator to round it. That's fine. We'll look at the key in a moment. And I'm wondering, looking at the picture, yeah, I'm doing pretty good looking at the picture. All right? Again, let's go to the key, and let's see how we did. All right? Where's the key? Oh, we already did that. I'm sorry. We already checked it. Thank you.